What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is either going to be a really badass day to where we get the M3 dialed in, ready to go, fix all the three little issues that we got going on with this thing, or it can go south and I delete the video and I never upload it. If we don't make any progress, I'm going to go to the lake and drink a beer. That's what I'm going to do. But I have a good feeling. Let me catch you up to speed if some of you guys haven't been following along. This is my E92 M3. We just slapped on our VF Engineering 650 Supercharger kit. It's a little torn apart right now, don't mind. Spent about 4 or 5 days getting everything buttoned up, installed. Drove it yesterday. We have a coolant leak, we have a boost leak, and we have a valve cover breather that's broken. That is the fastest way to explain everything. We're not building any boost. The car was extremely slow, slower than stock. Well, probably about just like stock actually. The boost leak is going to be an easy fix. The hard parts are going to be trying to figure out how to fix our broken coolant line. We ordered up a new upper radiator hose and that's not going to show up till Friday. It is currently Sunday, so we can't call anywhere to try and find a part. So I have a few different options. The PCV, I think I can get that just JB welded. I picked up some new stuff and I hope this is going to work. This is JB Weld plastic weld, the world's strongest bond. Cures in 1 hour, sets up in 5 minutes. The other stuff we were using took like 3 days to cure, and it probably wasn't even cured when I put it on the car. So I'm going to use this on that PCV. I might attempt to use this on that radiator hose as well. So if we can get those two things fixed and then just fix the boost leak, which is a fairly easy fix, I think by the end of the day, we should be ripping this car. We should be hauling ass in this car, and I'm excited for it. So let's get some stuff torn apart real quick. We're gonna have to drain the coolant a little bit, aren't we? Yeah, we're gonna have to drain some coolant out of it again, unfortunately. But I just wanna get this thing fixed, temporary or not, just so we can drive the car. We got this guy epoxied up and the radiator hose epoxied up. I'm gonna put a ton on that because I don't want that to break. And I know if I put a lot on there, it'll be fine. I am losing so much coolant right now. And then this guy, I'm gonna try to build it up as much as possible as well. And if that doesn't work, we have some other options in store if that breaks off again. But while that stuff is curing, let's go ahead and pop off the manifold and see if we see anything obvious as to why we were having a boost leak. It's one of the 8 couplers. I think it's in the passenger rear of the manifold. So thankfully this manifold's pretty easy to pop off. BOV hose back there, and then all 8 clamps and it should come off. I didn't see anything obvious with the couplers. It looks like this back one may have been folded a little bit, but then again, it's really hard to tell. So I'm kind of rerouting the hoses anyway, that from behind the manifold, just so it all sits better. So I'm gonna re-secure the manifold, make sure everything is completely tight. And then I'm just gonna go right to a boost leak test, make sure it's all sealed up. I cannot find this leak. I've been trying and trying and trying to find this leak, and now I'm freaking like dizzy from smoking this goddamn cigar. It's not from the manifold to the throttle bodies. Those couplers are fine. I checked everything out there. Everything's fine. Compressing air through the system, blowing or spraying it with soapy water. There's no bubbles or nothing. It's like behind and underneath the manifold somewhere, and I cannot find it because as soon as I pull the manifold off, you can't pressurize the system anymore. So I'm trying to smoke and blow smoke into the system to do a smoke test, and it's not working. I can't find anything. We started today's journey at noon. It is now 6 o'clock. We've made zero progress. I have confirmed multiple times that it's not from the manifold to the throttle bodies. Those boots are fine. There was one boot that was a little suspect. That was in the very back, so I swapped that out, moved it to the front just so I can make sure it's not it. And it's definitely coming from either underneath or behind the manifold. And the problem with that is as soon as we pull the manifold off and try and pressurize the system, everything comes out of the throttle bodies. Let me just show you guys. So we pressurize here. Definitely a pretty good leak. So I'm gonna pull the manifold all the way back off for the 97th time today and try and find a clever way to plug or to cap all of the throttle bodies so we can continue on diagnosing this thing, trying to figure out where that leak is coming from. So let's do that. As long as I can find a way to cap everything off, we should have this issue resolved hopefully fairly soon. I'm not sure what I was showing you guys last, but either way, we just put the car back together. I'm gonna go drive it again, and the only change I've made is plugging that hole on the BOV or the BPV that I was showing you guys yesterday. I never found a solid way. I tried duct tape to block off all of the throttle bodies, and that obviously did not work. So I'm gonna go try this. I doubt anything's gonna change, but maybe it will. So I went around the block and I saw some boost on the boost gauge. So I came back to the shop, kind of buttoned up the rest of the bay and topped her off on coolant. And I'm gonna go again and see how she feels. Definitely hitting some boost and it feels amazing. The only thing I changed was that plug in the BPV. That's the only thing I changed. That's very odd. It's also a very shitty boost gauge that I have, and it's showing like 5 psi, and I think we're supposed to be around 8, but I think my boost gauge is probably way off. So I'm really confused. Here's the scoop, guys. Went and ripped it. Absolutely amazing. Building boost, hauling ass. Like I said earlier, I have no clue what it's hitting for PSI. I don't really care though. I'm really confused at the end of the day. I'm not sure if we're supposed to have that fitting in there or not. I'm guessing we are because without it, it won't build boost. It's either that or we did indeed have a boost leak from the manifold to the throttle body that we did not see before and now it's fixed. Either way, I don't really care. Our radiator hose did indeed break again. It did not last whatsoever. I think it's because all the heat that's going through it. So while the car is cooling off, I'm gonna head down to Lowe's and buy a bunch of brass fittings, barbed and threaded. Just get a handful of them and come back to the shop, try to make something work, because I really, really, really would love to drive this car home tonight. So Lowe's closes here in like 30 minutes. Let's head down there, see if we can't find something to get this car back on the road. As you can see, she's a leaky girl again, coming right from right from there. So she didn't last long whatsoever. If we can get that indeed fixed, we're driving this thing home and we'll be good. I'm excited. Hell yeah. We picked up 3 fittings, 2 brass and 1 plastic. Let's see if any of these guys will be close. Okay, that's what we came up with. It's ghetto. It's super freaking ghetto, but it's gonna get us by until that new hose comes in. This thing is buried pretty deep in there, so I don't think it's ever gonna come out. We should be good. Check that out. All right, guys, it's now the next morning, and Jesus, this car is loud. Sorry, neighbors. Sorry, Bobby. Last night, ripped it home, did a few good pulls, and then the last pull I did, car made no power. I think we sprung a leak, which I feel like this is a good problem. That just means we're building some boost. So I'm gonna rip to the shop real quick this morning, check it over. There's some other things I want to do on the car anyway, but mainly just get this boost leak fixed again. I did a little bit of research last night and this morning, and we may have popped the manifold off. I could have just looked at it real quick, but there's other stuff I got to do anyway. So let's head to the shop and see what's going on with this thing. I went sideways yesterday or last night, coming around the corner and ripped it. And I'm not used to doing that in this car. It was really fun. All right, let's take a look at this thing and see what happened. Take a look at that. Manifold came right off of those boots. Kind of what I was expecting. Here's what we got going on. Last night, I went ahead and ordered an actual smoke tester. I've been needing one forever, so I figured I'm just gonna order one. I wanna do a proper smoke test on this car, make sure we don't have any other leaks. Obviously, we gotta fix the manifold right now. So we did that. I ordered a tile BOV for it, just because I think it's gonna sound better than what we have on here. And then it'll kind of eliminate the whole thing with that plug. Not sure if we need it or not. I hit a VF, still waiting on a response for that. I guess we could just go ahead, pull the plug out right now after we fix the manifold, pull the plug out and see if it still builds boost, just to kind of rule that out. Either way, I don't really care. We have a tile BOV on the way, and I think it's gonna sound sick on here. Stoked to get a proper smoke tester in, so we can smoke test other cars as well when we are diagnosing issues. And then that's about it. I'm gonna pull the manifold back off. I'm gonna hairspray all the couplers, get everything sitting where it needs to sit, clamp her down. And if that doesn't hold, I know there's like some brackets that, I forget who makes them, it may be ESS. They're brackets that hold down the manifold so this doesn't happen under boost. But yeah, I think with just hairspray, we should be good. These are the fun type of problems. I like these kind of problems. Blowing parts off because of boost, those are good problems. Manifold is back on. We used some hairspray, so hopefully she'll stay this time. Those things are really, really hard to get seated for some reason. Usually what I have to do is just sit on it and put a ton of pressure on it, and then it'll get fully seated and we can tighten down the clamps. If this blows off again, I may just put all new couplers on it, because obviously this car is like 12 or 13 years old and they're probably stock couplers, so I'm sure it wouldn't hurt if we did put new couplers on it. I had a random thought and I found a part that we're gonna put on this car. I have this Ghetto BOV, the VF manifold, and I believe the ESS manifold both use a Ghetto style flange. This BOV right here is originally off the blue Evo 8, and so what I'm thinking is that if we put Evo parts on the BMW, maybe she'll start cooperating and we won't have any more problems. It's just what I'm thinking. So let's go ahead and slap this guy on. Curious to see how this will sound on the car. It's kind of crusty, but you know what? Evo parts on a BMW should do the trick. We will have to plug off that hole right there on that intake tube. Other than that, it should be a direct fit, direct bolt on, ready to go. Let's get this thing finished up, go on a drive, and make sure she's all good. sounds hilarious. Oh, I hope you guys can hear that. I don't know if I like that. It's a little sus, but she rips. Oh, it's non-stop, just squeaking. Oh, it's all worth it. All that bullshit was so worth it. Holy shit. Woo, she got squirrely in second. Oh shit. All the dash lights. I still need to get these seats coated out, or the airbags in the old OEM seats coated out, and then pretty much all these lights should go away. Holy shit, this car is fun. Initial thoughts, this thing is super freaking fun. Keep in mind, I still don't know if we're hitting full boost. As soon as we get that smoke tester in, I'm gonna smoke test the car properly, make sure we don't have any sort of leaks. If we charge the system with compressor, it sure sounds like a leak to me. But regardless, we're definitely building boost. How much, I'm not sure. I should probably get a solid boost gauge for this car. It would be nice. I know P3 makes a pretty decent gauge that goes in the vent, so it'd be cool to get one of those just to make sure we're hitting proper boost. The thing with superchargers, you can't adjust boost levels like a turbo car. It's not like I can go hit up a tuner and say, hey, turn up the boost on my car, on my M3. You can't do that. The only way you could do that is with a different pulley. Everything with a supercharger is mechanical. So in the future, if you ever wanted to go, say like do an E85 tune on the car and turn up the boost, we'd have to get a different pulley for the Vortex supercharger. I don't know if that's gonna happen. One thing I want to do with this car is obviously keep it reliable as possible. I know it is a BMW, so I'm not sure how possible that is or how realistic that is. This kit's rated at 650 horsepower, so maybe like low 500s wheel, and I'm not sure how much power these motors can handle before they start bending rods or cracking pistons or lifting heads or any of that sort of stuff. But regardless, I'm freaking stoked. All the stress, all the pissiness was definitely worth it. I'm gonna go rip it some more, and hopefully we don't loop out because it's fun and it rips. I do love the fact that it drives like a stock car. Until you get into boost, it feels 100% stock. AC works flawlessly, which is super nice. It's very, very, very daily drivable still, which is exactly what I wanted. I think I made that guy mad back there. It freaking lights him off so easily. Ah, this thing is fun. And we got AC on too. Shit bussin'. Little backfire for the boys. All right, my friends, that's gonna be a wrap for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm so freaking stoked to finally have everything pretty much situated with this car. It feels so good. It feels so good to have it done. Drop a comment below, let me know what you guys think. Peace out, my friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow.